Hello students, welcome to Biological Science digital lesson. Hope you are all really doing well. Students, so far you have studied about digestive system, respiratory system and transportation system. Now, in this today's part, let us study about an important system. Students, if you look at these pictures, so there is one common thing. In the first picture, a factory which is generating solid waste. In the second picture, a factory generating liquid waste and is being released outside. And in the third picture, a factory which is releasing gaseous waste. So, there is no factory such that in the manufacturing of products, similarly, our body too is a cellular factory that generates waste or non-useful products at regular intervals. Some of them build our body material and some of the metabolic activities broke down the energy. First one is called anabolism, the later one is called as catabolism. Both anabolism and catabolism are called metabolism. Some of them are harmful or toxic materials which need to be eliminated soon after their production from the body. What will happen if these waste products or toxic products that are not removed from the body? If they get accumulated in the body, what happens? They simply change or alter the concentration of our body fluids, which will affect the homeostasis, and this further affect the overall functioning of organs and organ systems. So, it is very essential that the waste materials that are produced during the metabolic activities need to be eliminated from the body, otherwise the homeostasis will be disturbed. Living beings need energy for their survival and to perform activities, either anabolism or catabolism. Different products are generated as a result of these metabolic wastes. Students, can you name different products that are produced during these life processes which you have studied earlier? For example, photosynthesis, as you have already studied. So, what are the products that are generated in the process of photosynthesis? Yes, glucose, oxygen, water are produced, and in the process of respiration, the products carbon dioxide, water are produced, and in the process of physiology of digestion, the products such as nutrients are produced. The undigested, unabsorbed food is also produced, which is eliminated in the process of defecation as fecal matter. Now, some materials produced in the body of an organism may be harmful, have to be removed along with excess salts, excess water from the body. This removal of waste materials or non-useful products from the body is called excretion. So, in the process of metabolism, as some waste materials are produced, some toxic materials are produced, some non-useful materials are produced, which may contain excess salts, excess water. So, anything that is excess in the body is to be removed from the body. Now, the word excretion come from Latin. In Latin, ex means out, crenere means shift. So, shifting of waste materials from the body to the outside. So, let us define excretion. So, excretion is the term coined for all the biological processes involved in separation and removal of waste or non-useful products from the body. Where are these wastes produced in our body? How are they produced? What are the substances present in them? And how are the wastes removed from the body? Otherwise, they combine with our body fluids and change the concentration of our body fluids as well as homeostasis, which affect the normal functioning of our organs. Now, students, excretion in human beings. So, waste products that are usually generated in human beings are carbon dioxide, water, and nitrogenous compounds like ammonia, urea, uric acid, bile pigments are produced by the breakdown of old RBC or dead RBC, and excess salts. Now, let us see the excretory system in human beings. The excretory system in human beings include a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, a urinary bloater, and urethra. So, these are the components of the excretory system in human beings. Now, where are these kidneys situated or located in our body? Situated either side of the vertebral column, backbone. So, here on the dorsal side we have a vertebral column. If you see the two kidneys, they are asymmetrical. Asymmetrical in the same that they are not similar. If you see the right kidney is slightly lower than the left kidney, and moreover comparatively the right kidney is slightly smaller in size than the left kidney. Students, think why it is so. Why our right kidney is slightly lower than the left kidney, and why our right kidney is slightly smaller in size than the left kidney. And from each kidney a pair of ureter. So, from this kidney one ureter, and from this kidney another ureter runs posteriorly. So, a pair of ureters run posteriorly or downwardly open into the urinary bloater. Students, this picture also clearly shows the position of the kidneys in our body. So, this is the picture clearly showing the notch which is called as hilum, and the things which enter into the kidney and as well as which leave the kidney. So, this is the red colored one is renal artery, the blue colored one is renal vein, and this tubular structure is called as ureter. Students, this is another picture which also shows the same components which I have told just now. So, this is the renal pyramid, and this part is called as columns of Bettin. They are also called as renal columns, minor calyces, major calyces, and this is called as pelvis, comes out as ureter through the hilum. Now, there is an activity in our textbook regarding the dissection of goat's kidney or sheep kidney. The kidney of goat is very similar to the kidney of human beings in functioning. Now, this is the picture showing the internal structure of kidney. Each kidney is made up of 1.2 to 1.8 millions of nephrons. So, what are these nephrons? Nephron is considered as the basic structural and functional unit of each kidney. So, the kidneys are made up of the basic units called nephrons. These are thin microscopic tubular structures also called as uriniferous tubules. So, nephron is the actual filtration unit of blood inside the kidneys. So, this is the structure of nephron with which the kidneys are made up of. So, around 1.2 to 1.8 millions of nephrons are present in each kidney. So, this is the structure of uriniferous tubule or simply called as nephron. Now, let us study more about the structure of nephron. Each nephron consists of two distinct parts. So, this structure is called as Malpighian body, and the remaining portion, tubular like portion, is called as renal tubule. So, this entire structure is called renal tubule, and this anterior most head like part is called as Malpighian body. The Malpighian body is further distinguished into two parts called as glomerulus, another one is Bowman's capsule. And the tubular portion of the nephron, which is called renal tubule, it is further divided into three distinct parts. The first one is proximal convoluted tubule. So, this is the proximal convoluted tubule, proximal very near to the Bowman's capsule. Convoluted tubule, as it has many foldings, called convoluted tubule, which leads into hairpin shaped tube called Henle's loop. So, this is U shaped or hairpin shaped tube called Henle's loop, which contains two segments, the one which runs downwardly called as descending limb, and the one which runs upwardly called as ascending limb. So, both descending limb and ascending limb are called as Henle's loop, which further leads into another convoluted tubule which is slightly away from the Bowman's capsule. So, this is one more convoluted tubule which is slightly away from the Bowman's capsule as we compare to that of proximal convoluted tubule. So, this part of nephron is called as distal convoluted tubule. So, distal in the sense that it is slightly away from the Bowman's capsule. The DCT opens into collecting tubule that further opens into a straight collecting duct, into which many collecting tubules of neighboring nephrons open into this straight collecting. So, this is the picture showing a blood vessel which surrounds the renal tubule. So, a microscopic thin walled a network of blood capillaries surround the renal tubule, forming a structure called peritubular network. So, a network of blood capillaries around the Malpighian body and renal tubule. Let us understand the mechanism of urine formation. So, in the formation of urine involves 4 important stages. First one is glomerular filtration, second one is tubular reabsorption, third one is tubular secretion, fourth one is concentration of urine. So, these are the 4 stages involved in the physiology of urine formation. Let us go one by one in detail. So, students, let us have a look at this picture. This is the structure of nephron. Now, the Bowman's capsule. So, this is the Bowman's capsule which is of a cup shaped structure which looks like a C, alphabet C or cup shaped structure which is made up of 2 layers. So, this is a double walled structure which is made up of epithelial cells containing podocytes, and in between podocytes a fine slits are present called filtration pores. Okay. So, this is the C shaped structure, a double walled structure called Bowman's capsule. Now, this is the space into which a tuft of blood capillaries are present, and that tuft of blood capillaries present in this space is called as glomerulus. So, both glomerulus and this C shaped Bowman's capsule together called as Malpighian body. Now, let us study about the urine formation. The first one is glomerular filtration. So, what is meant by glomerular filtration? The filtration which occurs inside the glomerulus. So, the glomerulus is formed by a network of blood capillaries that emerge from the efferent arteriole. So, this is the efferent arteriole which is a branch of renal arteriole. So, the renal arteriole enters into this space as efferent which starts with A. So, do not get confused students, it starts with A. So, efferent arteriole enters into this space, divides into many capillaries which used to form a network called glomerulus. So, if you see the diameter of efferent arteriole is larger than the diameter of efferent. So, the blood vessel which comes out of the Bowman's capsule. So, this is the blood vessel that comes out of the Bowman's capsule. So, the one which leaves is called as efferent, it starts with E. So, this is called as efferent arteriole. So, efferent which enters into the Bowman's capsule, efferent which leaves the Bowman's capsule. So, if you see the diameter of these 2 blood vessels, so the diameter of efferent is slightly larger than the diameter of efferent, which creates a lot of or enormous blood pressure inside the glomerulus, and this blood pressure is responsible for the filtration of blood. So, the blood is filtered inside the glomerulus, hence this process is called as glomerular filtration. So, what happens during the process of glomerular filtration? All the substances that are present in the blood except blood cells, they are red blood cells, white blood cells, leukocytes and large sized proteins. So, they are not filtered, except these all other substances that are present in the blood are filtered due to their small molecular weight, as they easily pass through the fine slits that are present in the wall of the Bowman's capsule. So, because of this filtration, the particles such as glucose, amino acids, electrolytes, nothing but salts, water and the nitrogenous substances such as ammonia, creatinine, uric acid, urea are filtered here in the process of glomerular filtration. Such filtrate is called as primary urine or ultrafiltrate. This can be also called as glomerular filtrate. Now, this primary urine passes down the renal tubule, and during its journey passing through the different parts of the renal tubule, it will undergo certain changes and certain mechanisms also takes place in the formation of urine. Now, before we further proceed, the glomerular filtration which takes place inside the Bowman's capsule produces the primary urine. Around 1100 to 1200 ml of blood is filtered in the process of glomerular filtration per minute. Students, 1100 to 1200 ml of blood is filtered per minute. If you calculate in this way, around 180 liters of primary urine is produced for about 24 hours, that is per one day. So, 180 liters of primary urine is produced per day, but we do not urinate 180 liters of urine per day. Generally, we urinate around 1.5 to 2 liters of urine per day. Now, what happens to this 178 liters of primary urine? However, we do not urinate all this, but this gets reabsorbed into the body from the renal tubule. Let us see the mechanism of reabsorption and as well as tubular secretion. Now, this is the picture showing the process of glomerular filtration. So, this is efferent and this is efferent. As I already explained, the diameter of this one is slightly larger and this one is slightly smaller, which creates pressure inside this, that is responsible for the filtration of blood. Now, students, can you remember the same process that is seen in our daily life? Exactly. In our kitchen, there is a filter like this to filter the tea dust particles. Similarly, the same procedure is seen here. So, because of this blood pressure, the particles are subjected to filtration and that filtrate is collected here, which is called as primary urine. So, you can compare these two processes with one another. Now, in this picture, let us understand the process of tubular reabsorption. So, once the primary urine is produced here, now it starts running through the various parts of the renal tubule. Now, when it starts its journey passing through proximal convoluted tubule, Henle's loop, distal convoluted tubule, many of the substances that are present in the primary urine such as water, glucose, amino acids and some electrolytes such as sodium and chloride ions are reabsorbed into the body. So, why this is called as reabsorption? Because the same procedure occurs in the process of digestion. So, once the complete process of digestion is occurred in the intestine, so the absorption of the same materials occur. Here the same materials once again absorbed into the body, hence this is called reabsorption. So, the glucose is hardly formed by the process of digestion. So, we cannot afford to lose glucose and other important substances such as water, amino acids, sodium and chloride. They are very useful and very essential for our body, for the normal functioning of our body. So, all these which includes water, amino acids, glucose and certain electrolytes are reabsorbed into the body and this process is called as reabsorption. So, the red colored arrow marks show or represent the process of reabsorption of the things into the body. Tubular secretion is also an important step on the urine formation. So, the green colored arrows indicate or represent the secretion of certain substances into the renal tubule from the body or from the peritubular capillary network. Mainly the substances such as hydrogen ions, potassium ions, ammonia, urea are secreted into the renal tubule from the body. Why this kind of secretion is seen? On the one side, we are seeing the reabsorption of materials. On the other side, why this secretion is occurring? Is this secretion necessary in the formation of urine? Yes, students, it is absolutely necessary because the reabsorption, because of this reabsorption, certain electrolytes are adding into the body, and by this what happens? The ionic balance or the electrolyte balance gets disturbed or changed. So, in order to maintain that ionic balance, or in order to maintain that acid base balance or the electrolyte balance. So, certain salts must be secreted into the renal tubule such that the ionic balance is maintained constantly. So, the tubular secretion is an important step in the process of urine formation. So, by these two processes, that is tubular reabsorption and tubular secretion, so the water, the glucose, the amino acids are reabsorbed efficiently into the body. And very important note here, in the distal convoluted tubule, by the influence of a hormone called antidiuretic hormone or vasopressin, which influences the absorption of water efficiently done at the distal convoluted tubule. So, this is the picture showing the process of reabsorption and secretion. So, these arrows which are showing towards the outer side from the renal tubule represent the process of reabsorption, whereas the downward arrows indicate the process of secretion. So, this is the structure of nephron, where we see a tubular reabsorption and as well as tubular secretion. Now, after studying or knowing the internal structure of kidney and as well as the internal structure of nephron and the formation of urine, now let us proceed to the excretory system. Now, after kidneys, the structures which are attached to the kidneys are a pair of ureters. Now, in this picture you see this is the ureter. So, a pair of ureters are present, one ureter originates from one kidney. So, this is the ureter which comes out through hilus. So, this is a long, slender, straight, narrow, distensible, muscular tubular structure, whitish in color. It is around 25 to 30 centimeters in length. So, this runs posteriorly or downwardly and it is connected to the urinary bloater. So, this tubular structure is called as ureter. What is the function of ureter? Ureter helps in the propulsion of the urine that is produced by the kidneys into the urinary bladder. So, due to the presence of the smooth muscles in the wall of the ureter, which helps in the propulsion of the urine from the kidney into the urinary bladder. Now, students, this is the urinary bladder. A single urinary bladder is present, which is median, that is centrally located. It is pear shaped and distensible sac. Distensible sac in the sense that the walls of the urinary bladder are able to stretch out. So, this can increase in its volume and that nature is called as distensible sac. So, a median, hollow, pear shaped storage organ. So, it temporarily stores urine before it is released outside. What is the location of the urinary bladder? It is located in the pelvic region, that is ventral side of the rectum in the abdomen. So, this is the location of the urinary bladder. What is the storage capacity of urinary bladder? The normal storage capacity of urinary bladder is 300 to 800 ml. So, the urinary bladder can store about 300 to 800 ml of urine. The maximum storage capacity of urinary bladder is 700 to 800 ml. So, the ureters carry the urine from the kidneys into the urinary bladder and this urinary bladder slowly fills. So, when 300 to 500 ml of urine is stored, the wall of the urinary bladder stretches and the receptors present in the wall of the urinary bladder sends a signal to the brain, which relaxes the sphincters that are present. So, this is called, this part of the urinary bladder is called as major body and this is called the neck of the urinary bladder. So, this part is called as neck of the urinary bladder, which contains two sphincters. So, one is present towards inner side, another one is present towards outer side. The one which is present towards inner side is called as internal urethral sphincter, which consists of smooth muscles or involuntary muscles, and the one which is present towards the outer side is called as external urethral sphincter, which consists of stripped muscles or voluntary muscles. So, the relaxation of this sphincter is not under our conscious effort, whereas the relaxation of the muscles present in the external urethral sphincter is under our conscious effort. Now, let us see the urethra. From the neck of the urinary bladder, a small narrow tube arises, which is called urethra. The urethra is different in males and females. If you see, in males, the length of the urethra is about 20 centimeters long. So, if you see, this is the male where a lengthy urethra is seen of 20 centimeters long, whereas in case of females the urethra is very short, it is around 4 centimeters long. Hence, women are more prone to urinary tract infections as urethral meatus is very near to the anus. So, there is every chance of getting urinary tract infections. So, this is the urethra which originate from the neck of the urinary bloater. So, this is the urethra which carries or which takes away the urine from the urinary bloater to the outside. Let us know the process of mixturation. What is mixturation? Generally, the release of urine from the urinary bloater through the urethra to the outside, we generally call it as urination, but technically it is called as mixturation. So, whenever the urinary bloater is filled with some amount of urine, that is around 300 to 500 ml of urine, so immediately the stretch receptors present in the wall of the urinary bloater sends signals to the brain that relaxes the internal urethral sphincter, and we also get the urge to urinate, and with our conscious effort, okay, we relax the muscles that are present in the external urethral sphincter and which passes out the urine, and the release of urine from the urinary bloater to the outside is called as mixturation, and the neural mechanism involved in the process of mixturation is called Mixturation Reflex. The pathway or the flow of urine. So, the urine is produced by the uriniferous tubules or nephrons. So, from the glomerulus, the urine, primary urine enters into the proximal convoluted tubule, which is abbreviated as PCT, enters into Henle's loop. From here, the primary urine enters into DCT, from DCT to collecting tubule, from collecting tubule to collecting duct. From here, renal papillae, from renal papillae, the urine enters into minor calces, major calces, pelvis, through ureter, reaches the urinary bladder, where it is temporarily stored, and through the urethra, whenever we get the urge to urine, so the urine is released to the outside. So, this is the thing which shows the pathway of the flow of urine. Now, let us see the composition of the urine. So, the urine consists of 96% of water, 2.5% of organic substances, 1.5% of inorganic substances. So, this is the composition of urine. So, urine, though 99% of water from the primary urine is reabsorbed, still the urine contains 96% of water and 2.5% of organic substances, which include urea, uric acid, creatine, creatinine, and some water soluble vitamins, hormones and oxalates. The composition of urine contains 96% of water, 2.5% of organic substances, 1.5% of inorganic substances. The inorganic substances include sodium, chloride, phosphate, sulfate, magnesium, calcium, iodine. So, these are the components present in the urine. Students, so far we have studied the excretory system. Let us quickly recap what we have learned in today's part. Definition of excretion: human excretory system, kidneys. We have seen ureters, urinary bladder and urethra. We have studied the structure of nephron, formation of urine with different stages, what is mixturation and composition of urine. For your assessment, students, please practice these questions on your own at home. What is meant by excretion? Explain the process of formation of urine. Draw a neat label diagram of LS of kidney. Describe the structure of nephron with the help of diagram. Draw a block diagram showing the pathway of excretory system in human beings. For better understanding of the concepts, practice the worksheets, download the worksheets from SCERT website. Thank you, students. Let us meet in another session.